Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my everyday spring makeup routine. So just giving you a brief rundown of what we'll be doing today. We're going to be doing a light coverage, super fresh looking, glowy skin with a bit of a gold, warm toned eye, and then a really pretty glossy pink lip. I just think it's overall so perfect for spring. I'm so glad the warm weather is here and things are looking better with COVID and we'll be able to start going out more. It's just a very exciting time. So I hope you guys enjoy watching my everyday spring makeup tutorial. If you want to see me do more videos like this, definitely let me know in the comments. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so we are going to get things started with the Clinique Superprimer Universal Face Primer. You guys know I absolutely love this primer so much. And I think it's also just so perfect for the springtime because it gives you a really nice moisturized dewy finish without being, you know, overly dewy. It's not, you know, the most hydrating primer. It's just something perfect in between because I do have, you know, pretty oily skin in my T-zone, so it really isn't, you know, overly hydrating to the point where it will make my foundation break down or anything like that. Okay, now that we are all primed up, it is time to use the foundation, or it's kind of a serum, and I'm really excited about it. It's the Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint. It has SPF 40, it has niacinamide in it, squalane, I'm not sure what that is, and hyaluronic acid. So it is definitely a very like good for your skin type of product. And I've really loved it the past few times that I've been wearing it. Okay, after shaking that very vigorously, it's because it has, I think, probably all these like good for you ingredients plus pigment in it. I think those tend to get separated, so you definitely do have to do a lot of shaking before you actually go ahead and apply it. So I'm gonna apply some to the back of my hand and dab it on my face. It's a very runny consistency. It's honestly like nothing I've ever used in makeup before. I really love it. It has very sheer coverage, so be warned with that. If you have any problem areas, this is just not going to be for you, but it is a really nice way to even out your skin tone, and I really like it for that reason, especially going into spring. You know, you want that more like fresh faced look, and I think this is just absolutely perfect. I actually heard about this product through Hannah Brown. I'm a huge fan of the Bachelor franchise, and in one of her recent YouTube videos, because she's now on YouTube, she applied this and it just looked so gorgeous on our skin, just so effortless. So if that's something you're going for, is just like, you know, you really just, all you want to do is even out your skin tone and have some SPF and some like good skincare ingredients on all day, I think this is so perfect. But be warned, if you want to cover up, you know, dark spots or acne, this is not going to be the product for you. You can definitely build it up in certain places, which I really like. But again, the best you're gonna get is a very light coverage. I've truly never had a foundation product that just looks like skin. I mean, a lot of products claim it and a lot of products do get really close, but I've never in my like decade of applying makeup at this point ever seen a product like this. I am just super blown away by this product. I really love it. I mean, when I do get breakouts, this is of course not going to be what I go for, but especially going into the summer months, I think this is just so beautiful on the skin and just so effortless and perfect. So for concealer, I am going to take the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer because under my eyes is definitely where I need a little bit more help with coverage, just because I have very puffy under eyes that I like to camouflage to the best of my ability. With both of these face products, I am of course applying with the Real Techniques makeup sponge. I just personally like how makeup sponges apply your face products just a little bit better than a foundation brush, so for that reason I'm using it with both of these face products, and especially because, you know, it's springtime and we're going for that more like dewy, natural look, I think a makeup sponge is the perfect tool for this. So for powder, I'm going to be taking the Jaclyn Cosmetics Luminous powder in the shade Brighten Up. I'm gonna first be taking this with a Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH07 brush and just taking some of that on this brush and setting my under eyes with that first. I just started setting my nose, but I realized I actually do not want to set my whole face quite yet. So completely ignore that I just did that step. I'm going to be taking the e.l.f. Putty blush in the shade Bora Bora and applying that onto my cheeks. I adore this blush. It is so pretty. Literally the perfect blush for springtime. It is so natural looking on the cheeks. I'm usually not a big cream blush girl, but seeing how hyped up this has been in on YouTube, on TikTok, I was like, I have to try it, and it just looks like the most natural flush on your cheeks. Oh my gosh, the color is perfect. The application is perfect. I am the biggest fan of this blush, and I wanted to make sure to do that before I had set my face because I think creams just apply better on top of creams, aka my foundation and my concealer, and then you go on top and you set it with a powder. I just think everything definitely meshes better that way. So now going back to the Jaclyn Cosmetics Luminous powder, I'm gonna go ahead and continue just setting my whole face with that. I really do like the luminous glow that this powder brings. I think it's perfect, especially going into the springtime, just having a nice luminous glow to your face. Just think it's so pretty. For bronzer, this is my go-to always. It is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I think it's just in the shade Bronzer. This is the original one they ever came out with, and I'm just gonna be applying that to my temples with a JH02 brush, just bronzing up all of the skin, taking it down on the neck. Then for highlighter, I'm going to be taking the Smashbox Spotlight palette in the shade Pearl, and I'm going to be taking a combination of these two colors here. I believe this is Turn It On Pearl and Crank It Up Pearl. Taking a JH09 brush, just really combining those two colors. I think this is one of my favorite highlights ever. It's just so pretty, and I feel like a very like girly feminine highlight. It's just, it has like the right amount of pink in it, and I personally definitely like a more pinky highlight because my skin is fairly cool toned. A lot of people obviously do very well with a gold highlight. I personally don't do great with them. In the summertime, it's a different story. I think in the summer when I have a bit more of a tan, I can definitely get away with it, but on the everyday basis, especially going into spring where I don't really have a full tan, I think this is just the perfect highlight. I love this highlight so much. And so before we get onto the eyes, I'm actually gonna go ahead and set my face as is, so I can just set all the face product and allow that to start to like meld into one another. And of course, I'm taking the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray and applying it. I found that I really do like applying 2 rounds of setting spray, once after all the face product is applied and then a second time after all the makeup is applied. I just think it helps your face makeup just set together and look more natural at the end of the day. So that's just a little trick for you. So now moving on to the eyes, I'm going to use, of course, the Benefit Gimme Brow. Mine is in the shade 5, and just running that through my brows. Nothing fancy, it never is when it comes to my brows. And then for eyeshadow primer, I'm just going to be taking the Milani eyeshadow primer and applying that to both of my lids. So for eyeshadow, I'm actually going to be taking the Lorac Pro 4 palette. I feel like this is never talked about on YouTube, but it is one of my favorite palettes. And I'm going to be first taking the shade Pecan and just applying that into my crease. So I feel like a lot of people don't talk about the Lorac eyeshadow formulas and like their palettes anymore, but I am still a die-hard fan. I love my Lorac Pro palettes. I have, I think all 4 of them. I mean, I have 4 of them, but I think that's all the Lorac Pro palettes that exist. And actually, number 4 is my favorite one. And then I'm gonna follow that up with Warm Ginger. It's just this really pretty warm caramel brown color, and just applying that into the crease. I'm not doing anything too crazy in the crease, but I am setting up some definition because we're about to go in with a Colourpop Super Shock shadow. Okay, so now that I'm happy with how things look in the crease, as I mentioned, I'm going to be taking the Colourpop Super Shock shadow in the shade Like a Shot. I think it's just the prettiest gold color. If you can see that on my finger, it's just so metallic and so pretty. So I'm going to be pressing that onto my lid. I think it is just so pretty and looks so fresh and makes your eyes look so much bigger and brighter. I think it's just the perfect look for spring. I think those shades in the Lorac Pro 4 palette just complement this shade of gold so well. I think it's just such a pretty combination. Something I like particularly about this shade of Super Shock shadow is that it doesn't have any glitter in it. You know, it is very metallic, it's very foiled, but it doesn't have the glitter element that the others do, so I feel like it's much more wearable in that way. Okay, so now that I feel like the Colourpop shadow is built up to my satisfaction, I'm just going to be going back in with Warm Ginger and just kind of meshing the 2 shadows really lightly before I move on. And I'm also going to be taking that Warm Ginger color just a little bit on this JH39 brush and really lightly dragging that underneath my lower lash line just to kind of fuse everything together. I don't want anything too dramatic because this is supposed to be, you know, a very everyday wearable springtime look, but I do want to just fuse everything together. And then I'm going to be taking the shade Chantilly. It's just a nice matte cream color, and applying that on my brow bone. And for inner corner highlight, I'm actually going to go back into that Smashbox Spotlight palette and take the lightest shade and use that as my inner corner highlight. I've been really into using my highlight, like my cheek highlight, as my inner corner highlight. I just feel like it kind of just fuses everything together in a really nice and subtle way. And also it's easy. You don't need an extra product to do it. And then for mascara, I'm going to be using my CoverGirl Clump Crusher mascara. This is my favorite mascara of all time. And applying that onto my lashes. Okay, mascara is done. And now I'm gonna actually go back with that Morphe Continuous Setting Mist before I apply my lip product and just finally set the whole face. And then I'm just going to be taking a tissue and wiping my lips clean from any foundation or setting spray or anything that could have been on my lips during the whole process. So for lips, I'm going to be taking the Colourpop Ultra Blotted Lip in the shade Slide. Just this really pretty, fun, hot pink color, but because it's a blotted lip, this formula can really easily be sheared out. So I'm not gonna apply a ton just because I don't want this super bold color. I just want a light wash of pink. So just kind of taking my finger and applying the product where I need it. So I could definitely just stop here and have this matte lip going on, but you guys know I love myself a glossy lip, so I'm gonna be taking the Neutrogena Hydroboost Hydrating Lip Shine in the shade Radiant Rose. This is just a really pretty pink color, and I'm going to be applying that right on top of the gloss. Not on top of the gloss, on top of the blotted lip, just to add some gloss. I think that is just such a pretty combination. I love it. So that is the finished look, my everyday spring makeup routine. I hope you guys like watching this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, comment down below what other videos you want to see from me, and you guys know the drill. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, join the family that we got going on here. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye guys.